back to my channel. My name is Natalie, and every week I share videos about homemaking inspiration where I share with you everything that I know about how to make your home a more inviting environment for your family and your loved ones. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 crock pot recipes, perfect for fall, and also 1 dessert recipe that you can also make in your crock pot. So if you like what you're watching, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that you never miss a thing. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the video, shall we? The first recipe that we're going to be making today is Sunday sauce. Sunday sauce is nothing else than meat Italian sauce for spaghetti, but it's called like that because it has to cook for a lot of hours, and so I thought it was going to be a great idea to fix it in the crock pot. So in my pan, I'm browning some ground beef, some Italian sausage, and 1 full onion. I'm also adding 1 grated carrot and 1 garlic. The grated carrot might seem weird, but that's gonna help with the acidity of the tomatoes. I'm gonna mix that all very well until all my ingredients are combined, and I'm going to go ahead with a 1/4 cup of white wine and a whole packet of beef bouillon. I'm also gonna add some salt and pepper, and as you can see, I did add a lot of pepper because I had the wrong cap open in my container, but it ended up working out. So once all my mixture is really dry and really cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my crock pot. I'm gonna add 2 cans of tomato sauce, 1 large can of tomato chunks or crushed tomatoes, and then I'm gonna add 1/2 of a tube of tomato paste. You do need quite a bit of tomato paste. And I'm gonna mix that all very well. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of Italian seasonings. Also a little bit of pepper flakes because we do like it a little spicy. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and mix that all very well and add 1/2 of a stick of butter. I'm gonna cover it up and cook it on low for 6 hours. So 4 hours into the recipe or into the cooking process, I went in and tasted the sauce, and I noticed it was still a little sour, so I added a little bit of brown sugar and just a little bit of salt because I think it needed it. You just have to kind of play it by ear when it comes to that area of cooking. And shout out to my mom's best friend because she is the one who gave me this recipe many years ago. I'm the one who put it in the crock pot, and you guys, this is the recipe, or this is the sauce after 6 hours of cooking. Can you tell how red that is? Because it has cooked for the right amount of time. This was so good. Sometimes we underestimate the power of a homemade Italian sauce that's been cooked for many hours, but nothing compares, let me tell you. So for this next recipe, I'm going to be trying the famous Mississippi roast, and I'm finally trying it. And in my crock pot, I have a 2-pound chuck roast. I'm adding 1 packet of au jus seasoning, 1 packet of ranch seasoning, and then quite a bit of pepperoncinis because we do like it spicy. I think I ended up adding like 8 or 10 of them. And then I'm going to go ahead and also add some of that juice so that it's not so dry in the crock pot. I'm gonna add 1/2 of a stick of butter and put it on low for 8 hours. So after the cooking time has passed, this is how the roast looks like. I went ahead and shredded it with my fork. It was super easy to shred, and this was super delicious. Looked really like it as well, and super easy to put together. Now I understand why it is so popular among crockpot users. This recipe is going to be a green enchilada soup. This one was super easy to put together, so let's just go ahead and get started with the recipe. In my crock pot, I have 2 chicken breasts that I'm going to lightly salt. I'm gonna add 1 can of black beans, 1 can of green enchilada sauce, 1 can of white beans, 1 small can of green chiles. We like the spicy ones, but you can get the mild ones if you don't like spicy. 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and then 1/2 of a block of cream cheese. And then I forgot to film the corn, but I also added 1/2 a cup of corn and ended up adding just a little bit more of cream cheese. So I put that in my crock pot for 4 hours on high, and once it was all cooked, I went ahead and took my chicken. I shredded it very well. You can do this with a hand mixer or a stand mixer, but I just like it kind of chunky in my soup, so I did it with my forks. I added it to my soup, and this was so good, you guys. Pure deliciousness. I served mine with some avocado on top, and even my husband, who doesn't eat soup, ate this one and liked it. So one recipe that you have to try, definitely. Also, I cut this recipe in half and omitted the rotel that it calls for because my husband doesn't like it. This next recipe is going to be pineapple chicken, and this one is inspired by Six Sisters stuff, one recipe that they have, but I'm going to give it my own twist. So in my crock pot, I have some chicken tenderloins. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add 3/4 of a 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple, 2 garlic cloves that I'm going to crush in my garlic press, and then probably like 2 or 3 tablespoons of sriracha. Maybe a little bit more. We do like it spicy. If you don't like it spicy, don't really add that much because this one is really spicy. Then I'm going to go ahead with some cocoa aminos. This is just soy sauce, the healthier version. You can totally use soy sauce if that's what you have. And I'm adding around 1/4 cup and then a couple tablespoons of brown sugar just to counteract with that sriracha that we added, because like I said, this is really spicy. I'm gonna cook it on high for 4 hours, and once that time passed, this is how the chicken looks like. I'm going to go ahead and shred it up, and I know you guys will say, well, this is not a fall recipe. Well, you know, we're tropical people, and actually pineapple really reminds me to the holidays because of a cake my mom used to fix. But anyways, I served the chicken with rice and a salad on the side, not filmed, and oh my god, you guys, this was so incredibly good. Definitely a make again recipe for us. For dessert, we're going to be making apple crumble. So I am actually cutting this recipe in 1/4 of the recipe because my husband is not gonna even touch this. So I'm actually using just a couple apples that I'm peeling, and I'm trying to do my best not to get all the meat from the apple by peeling it with the knife, if you know what I mean. So after I did that, I went ahead and sliced it really thin, like if you were making apple pie. And then in my crock pot, I'm going to grease it with some melted butter. If you have cooking spray, you can use that as well. It's very important that you do this and not skipping this step when making dessert in your crock pot because the sugar is going to stick to the walls. So this is going to be making it easier for you at the time of cleaning it if you don't like to use liners. So to my apples, I added half of a lime, a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of cornstarch, and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to go ahead and mix that very well, and then I'm going to work on my topping. And for that, I'm starting with 1/4 cup and a tablespoon of rolled oats. I'm using 1/4 cup of gluten-free flour, but you can use all-purpose, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then cinnamon that I'm not measuring, a pinch of salt, a drizzle of vanilla bean paste. I wanted to, this is not something the recipe calls for, and then 1/4 of a stick of butter that I have chopped really small. I'm going to mix it up very well, and then I'm going to take this and cover my apples the best way that I can, since I am not occupying all the space in my crock pot, if that makes sense. So I put this for 4 hours on low, and it's funny because I'm filming this and I did not realize at the time that my crock pot was not plugged in. So here I am thinking this is just going to start cooking here soon, but I did not notice until an hour later that it wasn't cooking because the crock pot was not plugged in. So how many of you go through that? I really hope I'm not the only one. So this is how it looked like after the time of cooking passed, and my entire house was smelling like if I had sticky buns in the oven. So delicious. I served mine with some vanilla ice cream while it was still warm. This is so good, you guys. Alright, you guys, that's going to be everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw, do not forget to like and subscribe. And also, I'm really curious to know which one was your favorite recipe, one that you're looking forward to try really soon for your family. Leave it in the comment section down below. I'm actually really curious to read you all. Thank you again so much for all your support and for watching, and I really hope I can see you in the next one. Bye.
And the thing is that these scars are